This battle is sort of a dream battle in that it illustrates what I'm talking about with the difficulty in using skirmishers effectively. Foot skirmishers, that is. Now, I have seen that some people seem to think that I say foot skirmishers are useless. If you have watched any of my videos, you know that I bring foot skirmishers, and sometimes to good effect. I'm not saying that they're useless, there are multiple occasions where they can be very useful. However, they also need the three things that I've talked about in order to be effective. So, if you aren't able to have those three factors, then you might as well not bring skirmishers. So what I'm trying here with this Armenian rush build is to anticipate what my opponent is going to bring and then counter it. So Kartli X-Men, while not a direct counter to Hoplites, they can do fairly well against Hoplites, especially if they get the charge and have a terrain advantage. These Hillmen, not stellar infantry, but they can do some damage, especially in the rear and the flanks. And these Persian cavalry, they are the cataphracts are self-explanatory, extremely good on the charge. So I'm not entirely sure what my opponent is doing here, since he didn't move up. Perhaps he is going for this thicket of woods where he is going to redline camp. And of course I'm not going to let him do that, and I'm going to punish him for even considering such a thing. My opponent's army consists of a fuck ton of Spartan hoplites and a fuck ton of slingers, so 3 mercenary Rhodian slingers and 6 Gorgos. Good luck protecting that. That's why I don't want to engage him before he makes it into the woods here. So these 2 units of Eastern Cataphracts, I'm going to smash them in. And this is both a delaying action to do some damage, and downhill charges from Cataphracts into these 3 units. That's going to hurt. But more importantly, it's going to allow me to get into his skirmishers. Yay! Now they are going to turn around and do weird stuff because the rest of the unit gets caught, and that is extremely annoying because they had a clean move, so I'm going to pull them away here. They had a clean charge on these guys, so now they didn't really get a lot of kills, but I'm still going to keep doing this in order to just punch through the Spartan hoplites and continue into his skirmishers to stop his plans, to delay him a little bit and deny him the ability to redline camp and to go for this hill here, because if he goes for the hill it will be difficult for me to move around him, and as Armenia I really need the advantage in mobility. Now these Eastern Cataphracts, they're going to take a beating here. They are going to, look at listen to those women scream, but they are going to take a beating here. They are going to die most likely, but they're taking down a lot of skirmishers, not being cost effective in in the number of kills they're able to get, but they are able to stop his entire army from reaching a crucial destination on the battlefield, and that is very important. And it's also going to separate his army, so now I'm going to send in the Kartli X-Men here, getting downhill charges against the Spartan hoplites here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to give my opponent so many things to think about that he isn't able to do crucial maneuvers like moving around here and like forming up his army into a more coherent position than what he is in now. These hillmen are going to charge in, they're going to get some kills here into this disorganized Spartan infantry. They are going to get stabbed in the back by Kartli X-Men though. Still, in a situation like this, hillmen can actually do some damage. Sending in the Eastern Cataphracts here, they are exhausted now, so their last glory charge is going to be into these skirmishers, and they just didn't make it into the woods, these Spartans. Now the Kartli X-Men, they are doing okay against the Spartan hoplites because they got the downhill charge. He doesn't use hoplite wall, and now it's just a matter of, and he doesn't even go around here. It might be because I have my Eastern Cataphracts there that he doesn't want to get rear charged, but this is a pretty interesting instance, I think, where my opponent only goes for infantry and skirmishers while I go for infantry and cavalry, and I don't see any way that my opponent is going to be able to protect his skirmishers in this particular battle. Kartli X-Men doing well here against the Spartan hoplites. This unit of Eastern Cataphracts is going down, but it allows my cheap hillmen to get into this delicious blob of Gorgos skirmishers, and these Kartli X-Men are going to, no, these hillmen, sorry, are going to absolutely demolish these Gorgos skirmishers. Over here we have a sort of a standoff of Kartli X-Men in shield wall and these Royal Spartans. The Royal Spartans should win out in the end. But here we go. Eastern cataphracts straight to the rear charging all of these engaged units, and they should get a lot of kills this way. Still, these are Spartans, so they can take a beating, but the kills are rising incredibly fast. Using my general to cause additional mayhem, now his skirmishers are not a factor in the battle anymore, and they haven't really done jack shit other than dying. Persian cavalry, always nice to have some lighter shock cavalry going into the rear of Spartan hoplites, doing some damage there. My general royal cataphract into the rear of these royal Spartans, smashing them up pretty damn good. Kills are incoming now. Yep, that is pretty terrible for the Spartan hoplites, and the same thing is just happening all across the lines, being sandwiched between axemen and Persian cavalry and Eastern cataphracts. Now over here I'm not doing too well with my costly axemen. They are up against Royal Spartans. The Royal Spartans are dying as well, but rear charging and chasing after the remaining skirmishers here is going to be the order of the day. Downhill charges into Spartan hoplites, not the best charge, but I should be able to get some kills. The hillmen have actually killed some Spartans, so that's good job. Good job by them. 92 kills on hillmen, that's pretty damn amazing. So they can do some damage when they get into slingers like this, and they'll chop through these Rhodian slingers fairly effectively. Now, I think that my opponent here, he had to tailor his build around his skirmishers. He did have 9 skirmishers, you don't see that very often, 9-foot skirmishers, and he had to get into this forest to reduce the effectiveness of my presumed cavalry and skirmishers, but he was caught on the way and downhill charged into oblivion, so he's going to concede defeat. So thanks for conceding defeat and not just dropping here. But it just goes to show that in many cases skirmishers can be a huge liability, and in this case a total of 9 skirmishers worth, wow, they must have been worth like 4,000 in total. They got less than 100 kills, so I have a unit of hillmen that was more effective than all of these skirmishers. And this is straight up spamming. He brought 9 Spartan hoplites and 9 skirmishers plus a royal Spartan, but they can't really stand up to a combined infantry and cavalry assault, so that's kind of problematic for them. Royal cataphracts did extremely well, didn't lose a man and got 208 kills. All the cataphracts did okay, I think, although I kind of sacrificed some of them. Persian cavalry didn't do too much, some rear charging. The Kartli axemen did okay, and the hillmen did fairly well, so quite happy with how this build did against the Spartan build. Although bringing 9 skirmishers, it's a death sentence against a cavalry heavy Armenian. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on the battlefield.